Down payment assistance programs, especially in 2021, could be a godsend for those homeowners needing a little bit of help to get into that home. How's it going today, residents? My name is MJ. I'm a realtor out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, working with the Berkshire Hathaway brand. And on today's Real Talk discussion, we're going to be going over down payment assistance programs. I'm going to be going over 3 different down payment assistance programs today. The first one is going to be for Nevada as a whole. The second will be for the rural areas of Nevada. And the third will be for the entire country, available in 37 different states. One thing I would like to clear up right away is a lot of people have the misconception that down payment assistance programs are the same as first-time homebuyer programs. That is not necessarily true. Both the programs here in Nevada do not have the first-time homebuyer requirement. Even still, HUD defines a first-time homebuyer as somebody who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years. So even though you may have owned, say, even up to 5 homes in the past, as long as you haven't owned one in the last 3 years, you are considered a first-time homebuyer regardless. So make sure you don't click off right away. There is a lot of valuable information to be taken out of this video. Speaking of help, make sure you smash that like button right now, as it does help out this video in the YouTube algorithm. Maybe this video will reach somebody else just because of the extra likes that needs this information to be able to get into that home that they want. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that subscribe button too, as well as the bell notification so you don't miss a single video when I upload. Let's go ahead and head straight on into the first down payment assistance program. The first one is Home is Possible. They have a couple different variations of this. They have their basic one, which is what I'm going to be going over in the video today. They also have the teachers version as well as the heroes version for vets. If you do want me to go over those 2 versions in more depth, I'd be happy to make a separate video for those. Just let me know in the comments below. The Home is Possible grant was established in 2014. This grant allows the home buyer to receive up to 5% of the home's value to be used towards down payment as well as closing costs. Being that Home is Possible is a grant, after 3 years it is forgivable. Every month that you make your mortgage payment on time for the 36 months, that's in 3 years, they forgive 1/36 of that amount. One of the best things about this program is there is no first-time home buyer requirement. That makes it a lot more available for a lot of people. If you recall, what the HUD definition of a first-time home buyer is somebody who has not owned a home within the last 3 years. So to put this in an example, if you sold your home 2 years ago and you've lived in an apartment since, you still qualify for this program. You are still not considered a first-time home buyer, but you still qualify for this program. Keep in mind, you do have to have this as your primary residence, as well as it must be your only property that you own at the time of closing. So what that means, after you close on this home with this program, you could potentially go out and buy an investment property if you chose to. Once again, this is a statewide program. It is available for manufactured homes as well. And as for the requirements to qualify for this, you may not own a home at the time of closing. The total income of the household may not exceed $105,000 for FHA, USDA, and VA type loans. However, for conventional loans, the income requirements do change per county for the county income limits. In Clark County, it is $56,640 at the time of this filming. This program can be used for both existing inventory and new inventory. The maximum price of the home that you can buy for this program is going to be $548,250. You will also be required to have a credit score of 640. You must occupy the home within 60 days after you close escrow on this home. You must live in this home as your primary residence for 3 years. There is a homebuyer education course required. You must meet all the standard underwriting requirements, which you're going to have to anyway because of the loan that you're going to be getting. And there is a fee to be paid at the time of closing of $755. As far as the homebuyer education course, there are online as well as in-person courses available, both free and paid. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about doing a program like this. Make sure you go on the website and look up, see what's available. Maybe you can just do it at home for free. Again, that was the Home is Possible program. I'll put a link to their website in the description below. If you do have questions about this program, I'm happy to find those answers out for you. And if you want to hear more about the teachers and the veterans versions of this program, let me know in the comments below as well. Again, I will make a video exclusively for that if I see there's demand for it. And the next program we're going to talk about is the Home at Last program, which is for the rural areas of Nevada. Keep in mind that does still include parts of Clark County as well as parts of Reno up in Washoe County. As far as down here in Clark County, there are parts of Summerlin and the Southwest and the Northwest. They still apply for this program, so it's going to still be applicable for many Nevada residents. It is available throughout the state of Nevada as well, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and jump straight on into this. Some of the major benefits of this program: first off, you have the eligibility to potentially receive quite a bit of money. This program does offer up to $25,000 to be used for your down payment assistance. Just like Home is Possible, this program is forgivable after 3 years. You must live in your home for 3 years as the primary residence. Also, just like Home is Possible, there's no interest, there's no payments on this program. This down payment assistance program doesn't have any purchase price limits. However, depending on the type of loan that you're getting, for example, FHA does have a loan limit of $356,362 currently at the time of this filming. So make sure you check up on that and have that information going in. Another thing about this program that's nice is the requirements are quite a bit easier to qualify for. One of the major downfalls though is you are required to be in that rural area. It is based on the density of a specific area that you will qualify for. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check out the map and enter an address of those more dense areas to see if the address does qualify for this specific program. As far as the actual requirements for this program, the income limits are as follows. For a conventional loan, it will be $135,000. And then the income limit for an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA type loan will be $116,000 as well. The minimum FICO score is 640. The debt to income ratio cannot exceed 50%. The home must be your primary residence for the entire 3-year period. A home buyer education course is going to be required. And of course, you must meet the normal underwriting requirements for the specific loan type that you will be getting. Again, that's the Home at Last program. I think it's a fantastic program. If you can qualify for that over Home is Possible, I would probably do the Home at Last myself. Both are really great programs, but as far as the third program, let's jump straight into it. And this third program is going to be supplied by Bank of America as part of their commitment to the Community Reinvestment Act. Basically, what happened was Congress passed a law requiring banks to invest back into their communities. So what Bank of America did is they put in $5 billion to reinvest back into the communities, putting families in need into homes. It's actually a pretty simple program. It's pretty good too. I still think Home at Last is a little bit better than this program myself. This is a grant with 2 parts. The first part is going to be worth $10,000 that can be used towards down payment. And then the second part will be worth $7,500 that can be used towards buying down your interest rate as well as paying for closing costs. One thing you should know about this program is if you do qualify for the down payment portion, you will automatically qualify for the second portion for your closing costs and your interest rate reduction. Now, if you do not get approved for the down payment assistance portion of this, that doesn't mean you won't qualify for the closing costs and interest rate reduction portion of this. So make sure you still apply for both. That way you can maximize the amount of money that you'll be getting. Being that Bank of America is spending their own money, there is no fees to this program. However, keep in mind that since it is an actual asset of Bank of America and they're passing it on to you, that counts as income to you. So you will have to pay taxes on this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would rather receive $17,500 and have to pay taxes on it than not receive any at all. But just keep that in mind when you are applying for this program. And then there's 2 requirements for this program as well. The first off is going to be Bank of America requiring you to have this home as your primary residence. However, unlike the previous programs, they're not going to be chasing you down if you decide to move out of the home a year later. They're simply fulfilling their promise to this act. And then the second requirement, they are actually trying to help out people that are in need, so there are income limits that do apply to this program. Just make sure you give Bank of America a call, find out what your local limits are for this program. This program is available in 37 states, so make sure you give them a call and find out if you are in the area that they do have this program available. Now, with the Community Reinvestment Act, Bank of America certainly isn't the only bank in this country, are they? There's definitely Citibank, there's Chase Bank, there's US Bank, there's a million banks out there. So make sure you're finding out through these different banks of how they are fulfilling their requirement to this program. Maybe there's a better program out there that I'm not aware of, but I chose the Bank of America one because I feel it's a really good program, and I think it could really help out a lot of people. But at the end of the day, just make sure you give them all a call, do your research, and see what's going to be best for you and your family. If you're interested in the Bank of America programs, simply give them a call, talk to a representative over the phone, and within 5 minutes, you'll have an answer if you qualify for the programs or not. It's really that simple. Another thing I would like to mention too real quick is a lot of programs were actually shut down because of the pandemic. For example, here in Nevada, there used to be a program called the HOPE program. This program was absolutely fantastic. It gave about $20,000 to home buyers, but this money was actually diverted to mortgage and rental assistance programs. Now, moving into the future, as we come out of this pandemic, these programs will start coming back little by little, and hopefully they come back sooner than later to help out all those that are in need. And now that we have all that information out of the way, I want to address the burning question in the room. How do you apply for these programs? It's actually all quite simple. First off, you'll want to sit down and figure out which program is going to be best for you and your family. Second, you'll find a qualified lender that can help you out with the program. They will actually handle all the paperwork for you and let you know if they need any more information or signatures on any specific paperwork. Before the close of escrow, you'll have to handle any other requirements that the program has. For example, the home buyer education course is going to be required pretty much across the board for any of those courses. Simply find out what educational course is needed to suffice the requirement. Typically speaking, you can find out right on their website what educational course is required, and oftentimes they supply it themselves for free. So just head over to the website of the program and find out that information. If they don't have a website, just give them a call or talk to your lender. They'll be able to help you out with this information. All this will have to be completed before the close of escrow and any other requirements that the program may have. Unfortunately, these programs aren't all sunshine and rainbows. There are some cons to these programs. First off, oftentimes there's going to be a slightly higher interest rate. Think of it this way. They're supplying you with a down payment up front, but you're basically going to be repaying that through a slightly higher interest rate that could range anywhere from a quarter point all the way up to a full point higher, so that the program can continue and they can supply other families with the funds needed to get into the home that they want as well. Sometimes there is also a fee that's going to be attached at the close of escrow. For example, the Home is Possible has a $755 fee at the time of closing. This all goes to the admin of the program and to help keep it going into the future as well. Another con that you should be considering as well is a lot of programs will be putting a second lien on your home. What that means is if you come into trouble later and you want to pull out some equity of the home through a second mortgage, you won't be able to do that because you already have a second mortgage on the home until it is actually forgiven. Some programs will be for the life of the mortgage, where some, such as Home is Possible and Home at Last, only last for 3 years as long as you're in the home for that long, and at that point it is forgiven. Just know what you're getting yourself into before you sign any paperwork. And another thing that you should be considering too is some of these programs are required to be paid back. For example, right here in Las Vegas, there is a program with the culinary union that will supply you with up to $20,000 for down payment assistance, and it counts as a second lien on your home. Even though it's zero interest, they do require it to be paid back once you move out of the house. If you want more information on that culinary union program, just contact me directly. My information is in the description below. And lastly, I want to touch on a topic that's a little bit harder to talk about, but at the end of the day, I'm just looking out for your best interest here. So please just hear me out here, okay? These programs are really great programs, but if you don't have money set aside for that inevitable dishwasher leaking or the AC breaking down in the middle of the summer, you are not ready to buy a home. So do not use these programs just to get into a home without that savings backed up. My recommendation would be spend a little bit of time saving up a little bit of money, have that earnest money ready to go, have those extra funds ready to go for when something does go wrong, and then you can move forward and you're ready to buy. That would be my recommendation. I really hope you guys take this to heart. I would highly recommend them to anybody looking to save a little bit of money on their next home. And that about wraps it up for today's talk, but I want to mention a couple quick books. First is the Super Simple Homebuyer's Handbook. This book is a really short book and you can read through it in about an hour. If you're a quick reader, maybe even a half hour. But this will offer you a real quick checklist of things that are needed in the home buying process. And the second is a much more in-depth book. It is a much bigger book. It's about 460 pages. So it's going to be a chunk of a read, and it's not exactly the easiest thing to read either. But it is 100 questions that every first-time home buyer should ask. I'll put links to both of these in the description below. They're both fantastic resources, so make sure you just head on over there to check them out. It does help out the channel a little bit too when you click on those Amazon links. It doesn't cost you any more money, but it does help out the channel and keep this content rolling. But anyway, if you guys have any questions about any of these programs, let me know. If you have used a program like this before, let us know in the comments below of how the process went and how easy it was. If you guys have a specific topic that you want me to cover in one of these real estate talks, I'd be happy to. Just let me know in the comments below, or you can text me, call me, email me, whatever you like. But as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking it out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
Get me out of here.